Welcome back. This is Mrs. Rubright with Advanced Geometry. Today's lesson is 4.3, Relate Transformations and Congruence. You should have already copied the for your notebook on page 225 and page 232. Alright, so on our first slide, describe the transformations you can use to move the blue figure onto the red figure. Alright, so what's going on here? We're moving the blue onto the red. Can anyone tell me what this looks like? Yes. It is a translation because it's being moved, right? It's a transformation because it's being moved. But a translation is more like left, right, up, down, right? So this isn't exactly going left, right, up, down. It's kind of going on a curve. What would this be called? Yes. It is a rotation. It's a rotation about point P, right? So this is a transformation, not a translation, but a transformation, and the specific type of transformation is a rotation, right? A rotation clockwise about point P. Think about a clock and the direction that the hand on the clock goes. It goes this way. So this is a clockwise rotation about point P. Okay? Over here. Now let's go back to what you said. So you said translation. So first we have a translation. It's being slid to the what? A translation to the right. Then what? Then a reflection over a horizontal line. So it's a translation to the right, then a reflection over a horizontal line. Okay? All right, so describe the transformations you can use to move the blue figure to the red figure. So first, translation to the right, then about approximately a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise about point P. How about here? A translation down and to the right, right? You can say a translation down and to the right, and then a reflection across the vertical line. So translation down and to the right, then a reflection across the vertical line. Explain why figure A and figure B are not congruent using transformations. Why are A and B not congruent using transformations? So they actually have a picture showing you. So if they slid it over and then reflected it, right, if they did the translation to the right and then a reflection over a horizontal line, they're not going to line up perfectly. If you can see, this is kind of sticks out further than here, right? They're not the exact same shape. They're not congruent, so you're not going to get a congruent transformation out of those. All sides and angles have to be the same. Quilting. The quilt shown is made of a repeating pattern. Describe the transformation. Sorry guys. Describe the transformation that moves figure A onto figure B. Okay, so what moves figure A onto figure B here? Translation to the right. You could say like a reflection, but then the colors aren't going to match up properly. Let's see what they said. They said a translation or a rotation. So you can't do the reflection because the blue would be on top of pink, right? Or blue on top of red, whatever colors those are. In terms of a rotation, you could rotate it, let's think. But yeah, if you rotated it, it would end up being where the colors are on top of each other properly. So a translation or a rotation. Cannot be a reflection because then the colors wouldn't match up properly. They'd be reversed. Explain why figures C and D are congruent by using the marked angles and sides. So why are these congruent? All equal angles, all equal sides, right? Angle C is congruent to angle D. The base two angles are equal. And then this side, they have, they're both isosceles. They have all equal sides to each other, all equal angles to each other, and that's why. All pairs of corresponding sides and all pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. If they would have had like, A, B, C, and D, E, F, then you could have actually said like, oh, side blah, blah, blah is congruent to side blah, 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 and like listed out all their congruent statements. Tell whether the two figures in the quilt are congruent or not congruent. If they are congruent, describe the transformations that you could use to move figure A onto figure B. So let me just highlight what we're talking about. So here's figure A. Here's figure B. What do you guys think? They're not congruent. I don't know if you can tell, but this is thinner here than it is here. They're not exactly the same. They're not congruent. How about over here? They're totally congruent, right? The only differences are different colors. But if you ignore the colors because for some reason they don't care about colors on this problem, even though they cared about colors on other problems, how could you move it? You could reflect it. What else? You could reflect it over a vertical line. You could rotate it, right? You can reflect it. You can rotate it. Good? And that is everything on your lesson on 4.3, Relate Transformations and Congruence. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Like and subscribe, and have a great day.